Shalom. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 6. It says, He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is a sign of feasts, a light that decreases in her perfection. The month is called after her name, increasing, wonderful in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the high places of the Lord. First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praise, all honor to Yahweh. Salakia. First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praise, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash, the Bwana, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to you, Akim, who are pushing these truths into the four wings of the earth to make sure that Jerusalem is established here on earth again as a place of worship as it was in the days of old. So, on this lesson here, we're going to deal about the difference between the new moon and the full moon. See the difference between the new moon. See, gonna put the contrast between the full moon and the new moon. See, so the new moon is the beginning of a month. See, that's the period when the moon is invisible, and that's the beginning of a month, and that's the new moon, and that's the Sabbath. See. The full moon is the midst of a month. See, the full moon is 15 or 14 day from the new moon. The full moon is 15 days or 14 days from the new moon. So the new moon starts at the first day of a month when the moon is not visible. You see. Then you count 14 days later in the midst of a month. See, that's when you get the full moon. See, because the month is all about. So the full moon comes in the 15th day of a month. See, the full moon is 2 weeks in of any month, but the beginning of a month is the dark moon, meaning the moon is invisible. That's when the moon, that's the new moon, and that's when the Sabbath comes in. So I'm going to read again. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. Yeah? Meaning that the moon was established to set up times. See? When you go back to the ancient Hebrews, those high holidays were based according to the moon. You see, verse 7 says, "From the moon is a sign of feasts, a light that decreases in her perfection." You see, the month is called after her name, increasing, wonderful in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. See? Meaning that the moon is above the firmament in the second heaven. The moon, the stars, and the sun, they are in the second heaven above the firmament. You see, so the month was calculated from the lunar phases or moon phases, and the month is determined by the moon, which is 28 days. The month is 28 days, which is 4 weeks. You see, so the moon starts to decrease. After 2 weeks, in the midst of a month, around the 15th day, that's when the moon starts to decrease. You see, and it increasing wonderful in the changing. It goes to the different phases of the moon. See, you have the different phases of the moon. See, it goes from crescent to half moon to full moon. See, to crescent to new moon to half moon to full moon. You see. And again and again, see, and the armies above, it talks about the stars in the second heaven. You see, in the second heaven. See, let us see here that the new moon is the first day of a month, The new moon is the first day of a month. Before that, let's go to the book of Genesis 1:1. He said, in the beginning, the powers created the heaven and the earth. Let's go jump direct to verse 14. It says, and the powers said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the powers made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the powers set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. See? So the moon is there for signs and for seasons and days in a year. You see? We determine what day is it according to the moon. See? The Sabbath and other ancient Hebrew Israelites' high holidays were determined by the moon. See? That's why we say the beginning of a month is a dark moon, meaning the moon is invisible, and that is the new moon, which is the Sabbath, the first day of a month. You see? The full moon comes in the 15th day of a month, you see, which is 2 weeks after the new moon. You see? So let us see that the new moon is the first day of a month. See, the new moon is the first day of a month. Let's start with this book of 1 Samuel 20 and 24. It says, so David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat, at other times even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day before, for he thought something has befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of a month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore comes not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? See, so the new moon is the Sabbath, which is the first day of a month, which is the beginning of a month. The beginning of a month. That's the new moon. You see? See, let's go to the book of Amos. See, the book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 5. See, Amos 8 and verse 5. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances of the seed? See? These are the wicked Israelites which wanted the new moon to be gone, because the new moon is the Sabbath. See? Which is the first day of a month. When you can sell on that particular day, that's why they wanted the new moon to be gone. So the first day of a month is the new moon, which is the Sabbath. See? Let's go to the book of Leviticus 23 and 24. Leviticus 23 and 24. Leviticus, it says, and the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of a month, ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing trumpets, and hold convocation. So the first day of a month, which is the Sabbath, which is the new moon, not the full moon, the new moon, when the moon is not visible. The first day of a month is a Sabbath, the new moon, and that's what dictates the Sabbath for the rest of a month. See? So there is a connection between the Sabbath and the new moon. See? The Sabbath and the new moon. There is connection. See? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel 46, verse 1 and 3. Ezekiel 46, verse 1 and 3. See, that said the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahshai, the gate of the inner court that look toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be opened, and in the days of the new moon it shall be opened. See, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offering, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai in the Sabbath and in the new moon. Which meaning that in the new moon, which is the first day of a month, is the Sabbath. So there is connection between the new moon and the Sabbath. See, but when you go on the second Sabbath of that month, that's the Sabbath only, because there are Sabbaths which are not in the new moon. See, there are Sabbaths which are not in the new moon. The second Sabbath, the third and the fourth Sabbath. See, these are the Sabbaths which are not in the new moon, but the first Sabbath is in the new moon. You see? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 6 and verse 23, proving that the new moon, these are the main days of the Lord Yahweh Yahushai. And he says, it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, which is from 1 month to another month, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all the flesh to come worship before me, say the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. So the new moon is the Sabbath, which is the first day of a month. See, but there are Sabbaths which are not in the new moon. See, there are Sabbaths which are not in the new moon. See, let us finish with this. Leviticus 23 verse 1. It says, and the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, verse 4, these are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocation, which ye shall proclaim in their season. See, meaning that this the new moon and the Sabbath are the holy convocations of the Lord. You see, let's go down to the point, verse 37. Say, these are the feasts of the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh Yahushai, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything upon his day, beside the Sabbath of the Lord Yahweh Yahushai, and beside your gift, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings which you give unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. Also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai 7 days, and the feast, and the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. See? So the Sabbath means rest. See? So 6 days, Sabbath is the high holiday. So 6 days shall work be done, but in the 7th day is the Sabbath, which is rest. See? And there have to be a starting point to determine the Sabbath, which is the last day, which is the new moon. So the new moon determines when the second Sabbath comes in. From that first day of a month, which is the new moon, see, you determine when the Sabbath comes in. See, from that first day of a month, whereby the moon is invisible. See? So let us finish with this. Exodus 13, verse 1 and 2 says, and the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn whatsoever open the womb up among the children of Israel, both of man and of a beast, it is mine. See, meaning that the first day of a month is a purified day, a sanctified day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. You see, that's the first day of a month, is the purified day. The first day of a month is the firstborn of a month, which opened the womb of a month. That's the new moon, and that's the Sabbath. So the number 1 is the number of the Lord Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And the first day of a month opened the womb of a month. That's which is the sanctified day. So, see, so the difference between the new moon and the full moon is that the new moon starts at the first day of a month, see, which is the Sabbath. And the full moon is the 2 weeks after the new moon, which is the midst of a month. See? Yeah. I would like to end up here, brothers. I hope this video was quick, short, and edifying to you all. Shalom, until next time.